Harley Quinn is one of, if not the most, legendary and well-known female characters from the DC Comics. Although she started as a mere henchwoman to the infamous Joker, she quickly went on to create her own name, separate from her crazy boyfriend. She has an awesome personality, a unique character design, and she's known for her pure girl boss badassery. So it's not exactly a surprise that she's getting so many comics, movies, and shows, one after another, all to her name. All of that is good. But one particular Harley Quinn series in recent times has made quite a few headlines for being hilarious and intelligent. Yep, I'm talking about HBO's Harley Quinn, the animated series. Today, I'm going to tell you the entirety of its story. But before diving in straight to the episodes, let's meet a few important characters in case you don't know them already. Of course, we have Harley Quinn in the lead, Joker's clown girlfriend who's gonna stumble through a series of disasters for some very important character development. Then we have Poison Ivy, Harley's BFF, who's also the voice of reason in her chaotic mind. These two well-known divas have 4 more members in their crew. Clayface, who's weirdly into acting and stuff. Dr. Psycho, who has become a well-known misogynist in recent times. King Shark, the tech guy of the group. And Cy Borgman, a retired US agent with bizarre stories from the past. When it comes to the bad guys, we've got Joker, playing the part of the toxic boyfriend along with other well-known bad guys like Lex Luthor and Bane. A lot of other characters from the DC universe join them as well, but this should be enough for now to get you going. Alright, now let's get into the episodes. So our very first episode, Till Death Do Us Part, starts with Joker and Harley trying to rob some rich people on a ship. We know that these are rich people because they're literally toasting to gigabucks of money just casually stacked on the ship's deck.
The poor!
Harley arrives first, but she notices that no one is taking her seriously until the Joker arrives. Even then, though, Joker isn't taking her seriously either. He's clearly finding ways to outshine and undermine her. But before she can say anything to him, Batman's legendary entry cuts their conversation short. In order to escape Batman, Joker uses Harley to buy some time for him, literally leaving her behind to get caught. However, Harley's thick-headed self still believes that he's gonna come to rescue her and break her out of Arkham prison before the sun rises. Cut to Arkham, and it's been 6 months. And there's no sign of Joker. All the inmates are practically making fun of Harley for still having hope. Poison Ivy, however, calmly explains to her that, "Girl, he's just not that into you." But Harley's too delusional to listen. 3 more months go by, and Ivy tells her that he's not coming. After 3 more months, the entirety of Arkham is telling her that. Harley's in luck though. Ivy helps her escape Arkham and even takes her to her apartment for the time being.
Very unprofessional.
Though instead of thanking the Green Goddess, Harley starts worrying that Joker's going to be disappointed with her absence when he tries to break her out of Arkham. Ugh, this girl. Seeing her brilliant friend, this delusional for a clown, Ivy decides that it's time for some tough love. She takes her to Joker's lair and proves to her that he's just chillin'. No plans of breaking her out, nothing.
This is the last time. I am here to break up.
Harley sees it all and even breaks up with him. But, well, he quickly manipulates her into not doing that. Frustrated by this, Ivy then hatches a plan with Riddler. They force Joker to choose between Harley and Batman on live TV. Of course, to nobody's surprise, Joker chooses Batman and leaves Harley to die. This finally opens her eyes. She then decides to show the world that she's more than just Joker's girlfriend. She even changes her look and destroys Joker's lair, promising to kill him once she's running the entire town. The next episode, A High Bar, is all about the aftermath of the messy breakup between Harley and Joker. It starts with the members of the Legion of Doom, the most deadly villain organization in the world, teasing Joker about getting dumped by Harley.
People are saying that Harley dumped me?
So, in typical Joker fashion, he tries to blow up a talk show host just to get the message out that it was him who dumped Harley, not the other way around. Harley retaliates by hacking into Joker's calendar to correct Joker's lie and to show the Legion of Doom that she's doing so much better without him. Harley figures out that the entire Legion of Doom is gonna be at a hotshot party and enters into it with full swag and a tiger, only to find out that the party is for Penguin's nephew's bar mitzvah.
This isn't your coming out party, it's a 13-year-old boy's coming out party. Look.
While Harley's busy trying her best to impress the LOD guys and make them team up with her instead of Joker, Kite Man tries to hit on Ivy.
Did I just hear the wind say Kite Man?
However, both Kite Man and Harley get nothing but disappointment in their respective missions. Frustrated by how easily her old villain friends have removed her from their life, Harley then decides to show them what she's made of by trying to rob the impenetrable Gotham Mint. While Ivy's out getting an antidote for the children at the party, because Kite Man gave them a deadly love potion for some reason, Harley's mission fails spectacularly. She finds out that the Gotham Mint that she robbed wasn't even real.
Joshua Bucks? Oh no.
Apparently, the bar mitzvah boy was supposed to rob it as a show of him becoming a man. Because nothing says manhood like grand larceny, right? But Harley has ruined the party. Joker and the LOD start attacking Harley, Ivy, and Kite Man as things progress. In between all the fighting though, Harley notices Joker being mean to Bane and his fellow LOD members and calls him out for being a bully.
Only power is bullying you into doing what he wants. I should know. He did it to me for years.
One by one, the LOD members then start calling out Joker for his bad behavior. However, he makes an excuse and bounces from the party to avoid taking responsibility. After all that, Harley decides that she wants to join the Legion of Doom. The next episode, So You Need a Crew, starts with Harley trying to steal a warhead from a Russian train. However, this is a multi-person job, and Harley is all on her own. Joker, on the other hand, is not. He and his goons come in and steal the warhead without a sweat. It's at that time that Harley realizes she needs a crew of henchmen for herself. She tries to recruit henchmen through an agency, because in Gotham, evil henchmen are plentiful, I guess. But after hearing that she broke up with Joker, the agency decides to turn its back on her. Harley takes matters into her own hands, but exhausts just about every outlet she can think of for recruitment. After telling Maxie Zeus off for being a total creep, Harley tries to convince Ivy to work with her, but Ivy tells her that she works alone. And as though Harley wasn't already at her wit's end with this whole debacle, Ivy explains the glass ceiling that exists for female supervillains, that society doesn't tolerate them getting too powerful. She tells her this through the story of Queen of Fables, a real powerful sorceress who turned storybook characters into her henchmen and terrorized Gotham like no one ever did in the 80s. However, when she was caught, she was turned into a textbook rather than being sent to Arkham Prison like any male supervillain at that time. Even after listening to her story though, Harley is still as persistent as ever. She now thinks she needs to hire villains who nobody believes in, so she decides to approach Dr. Psycho, who's facing a severe PR crisis related to his misogynistic remarks against Wonder Woman. The guy even got kicked out of the Legion of Doom, so he decides to be on Harley's crew since it might be good for his image. Just like that, the momentum builds and Clayface also decides to join. And the first thing they decide to do is defacing Zeus's private property, all while really making a show of it. The news even says that Joker's ex is becoming his biggest competitor. In the next episode, Finding Mr. Wright, Harley and the crew realize that no news channel is even remotely interested in covering their heinous crimes. They're too busy focusing on Batman and Joker.
Boy. You have been here 2 weeks and you have destroyed 9 TVs.
And that's when Harley decides that a good nemesis is going to make her mainstream news. And from there, the hunt begins. At first, she tries her luck at findanemesis.com, but nothing really happens. Shark, a computer whiz who grew Clayface's social media following from a meager 8 followers to a whopping 18, helps Harley get a few mediocre matches, but she isn't really satisfied. She wants the best nemesis out there, the Dark Knight. Harley steals the Batmobile to make Batman come after her, but 12-year-old Robin shows up instead. She and her crew refuse to fight a kid. However, Robin goes on to a talk show and makes up a story about Harley asking him to be her nemesis.
You know what? This one's on me. I should have known that this was gonna put you in a smashy mood.
Just like that, Harley is all over the news for fighting a kid. Lois Lane even writes an article about her dragging evil women behind with her actions. Harley ends up kidnapping Lois Lane to make her retract the article, but Robin shows up there as well. Frustrated by all of this, Harley devises a plan with her crew to scare Robin into admitting the truth on live TV using King Shark. Though the plan worked and Robin did admit the truth, gentle techie King Shark turns violent at the sight of Robin's blood and tries to eat him. Soon, Batman shows up to save Robin and starts fighting Harley. Ivy comes to help her, and it quickly becomes a hit 2v1. After all that, Joker gets jealous seeing all of this on live TV and quickly joins the fray, claiming his nemesis once again. By the end, Harley realizes that finding a nemesis isn't something that she should actively chase. She should just focus on her crimes, and the right nemesis will just come to her. And also, King Shark officially joins the crew. Cool. The next episode, Being Harley Quinn, starts off with Harley and Ivy finding an official villain lair. Since Cy Borgman, Ivy's landlord, kicked her out of her apartment in the last episode, mainly because she's not allowed to have pets, and there was a big shark just hanging around, Harley is having a hard time deciding. So the realtor hits her with a serious question. This breaks her even more since she realizes that until now, Joker was the one who made these decisions for her. Psycho then finds out that Harley is facing a level 4 brain freeze because of this trauma.
Don't know, I don't know, I don't know!
He tells everyone that he needs to go inside her brain to get her back to normal, so the entire crew decides to go with Psycho into Harley's brain. Psycho jumps off to fix whatever the issue is. Meanwhile, Ivy and Harley try to look at different Harley memories to find out why she can't make a decision. Harley decides to touch the memory of her villain origin story, which triggers a brain lockdown. Thanks to this, the crew is now trapped inside Harley's brain, but they have to get out ASAP, since Cy Borgman is fully prepared to burn their non-responsive real-life bodies in the real world. However, not before finding out why Harley can't make a decision, so they all scour through her repressed memories to find out why. Soon, they find out that Harley misremembers her origin story. It wasn't Joker who pushed her into the acid, it was her own choice to jump. She realizes that she can't blame Joker or anybody else for that matter anymore. It was all her, she was in total control. Just like that, she decides to change her origin story. It didn't happen when she jumped into the acid. Her real origin story happened when she cut ties with Joker in episode 1 and decided to be a supervillain on her own.
Didn't make me Joker, I made myself.
But you can't change your memories!
That is pretty badass, Harley. By the end of all that, Harley decides on a lair as well, the abandoned shopping mall that Cy brought them in to burn their bodies. Cy offers the crew this lair on one condition. They let him join in on some of their heists. Well, they agree. The next episode, You're a Damn Good Cop, Jim Gordon, features more of Harley's attempts to get noticed by the mainstream media in the Legion of Doom. Going on her own doesn't feel that great if she can't rub it in Joker's face. It starts with Harley and the crew deciding to rob valuable items from Wayne Tech. While the mission is a success, Clayface's arm gets cut off and left behind, as they're making their grand escape.
Perhaps they'll make a sequel to 127 Hours. There has been light buzz.
Batman collects the arm and tells Jim Gordon that he needs to find out where Harley's crew is ASAP. She took a super important button, he needs it back. Apparently, Jim is going through some marital problems and he notices that his only friend Batman can't even spare 2 minutes to comfort him. He complains to Batman that he's sad, that he still thinks of him as a coworker, not as a friend. However, Batman can't care less about it. He just wants Jim to prove that he's still a good cop. Back at Harley's lair, the crew is trying to figure out what exactly this super important button does. However, their curiosity is blown to pieces when they look at the bad review of their heist by an important villain reviewer. Yep, this world has YouTube too. The reviewer bashes Psycho for being super hated, calls Ivy his new girlfriend, and even makes fun of Harley for leaving a member behind, Clayface's arm, who now has a conscience of its own. And yep, it knows everything that Clayface knows since it's his arm. So King Shark, Harley, and Clayface decide to get the arm back before it spills the beans. Things don't look great at first. Right off the bat, Shark gets caught and gets sent to Arkham. Then Gordon shoots at Harley, forcing her to push the button, which transports her to the Batcave.
Well, I wasn't expecting that.
However, things do get better when Harley explains to Batman that he needs to be a better friend to Jim Gordon. Batman, putting work above personal relationships, has made Jim so lonely that he even befriended Clayface's hand and is now refusing to let it go. Amidst explaining to Bats, Harley also realizes that her preoccupation with being part of the Legion of Doom is making her ignore her friends as well. I mean, she cared more about the LOD's opinion of her than her friends' well-being and their limbs. By the end, both Harley and Bats understand that friendships are worth way more and apologize to their respective friends. Gordon gets his friend back and Clayface gets his hand back. The crew then escapes from the Gotham Police Department successfully and gets praised by the reviewer for their job well done. The next episode, The Line, starts with Harley's weekly coffee session with the Queen of Fables. Harley asks the Queen for advice on how to get into the Legion of Doom, to which the Queen says that she should steal something that the LOD wants for themselves. Thinking that it's a fantastic idea, Harley decides to steal the legendary and unstealable weather machine from Cord Industries. On the other side of things, the Queen is getting released from her textbook prison after 30 years. Only to be transferred to a real prison, Arkham. Harley thinks this is extremely unfair, and decides to break the Queen out and welcomes her into her lair. Together, the two come up with a solid plan for the weather machine heist. However, soon Harley witnesses the Queen being extra evil and killing the entire bloodline of a guy who saw them entering Star Labs. I mean, this showing was straight out of a slasher flick, way too much for even Harley and the crew to digest. So she tells her that she'd like to be just friends again. friends who don't work together. The weather machine mission goes as planned, but back at the lair, the Queen is waiting with her big bad wolf to threaten Harley. Guess she didn't take the breakup well. A fight almost breaks out, but is stopped by the last member alive of that family from Star Labs, Jason Praxis. So Jason gains superpowers and now wants revenge. However, instead of helping Jason, Harley helps the Queen escape again. By the end, the weather machine self-destructs after too many password attempts, and Ivy decides to be Kite Man's girlfriend. Their relationship was only a subplot in this episode, but it's going to become important later, so just make sure you don't forget them. The next episode, LOD RSVP, sees Harley and Ivy turn Aquaman into the laughingstock of mainstream media. After seeing all the media drama, the Legion of Doom invites Harley and her crew to discuss possibilities of working together. And of course, this makes Harley crazy happy. Next thing you know, Harley, Ivy, Clayface, and Shark all are at the LOD headquarters. But of course, all this talk of joining the LOD is a facade. Lex Luthor admits to Ivy that he only invited Harley because Ivy has been rejecting all of his membership invitations for years. It's Ivy that Lex actually wants, not Harley. He knew that if he would invite Harley, Ivy would also accompany her since she's very protective of her. He then also tells Ivy that
if you don't join, Harley doesn't get in either.
Aquaman infiltrates the party to get back his jewels from Harley and her crew, but Harley takes care of him single-handedly, after almost every villain at the party failed to do so. This gets her some much-deserved claps from the LOD. After this display, Ivy tells Lex that Harley is deserving of a position on her own, but Lex disagrees. Frustrated by all of this and still refusing to join the LOD, Ivy tells Harley the whole truth of the situation. But what do you know? Lex was playing with Ivy all along. He selects Harley, despite Ivy not joining, and causes a rift in their friendship with Harley saying harsh things like Ivy's jealous of her and whatnot. Oh man. The next episode, A Seat at the Table, starts with Harley and her crew, including Psycho, she got him in, officially joining the Legion of Doom. And suddenly, all these villains who treated her like shit just a few days ago are all buddy-buddy with her. Joker also seems to be extra sweet to her all of a sudden. Almost too sweet, in fact. Now, while Harley's having the time of her life at the LOD HQ, the situation is kind of opposite for her crew. They don't get a big office like Harley. They have to hang out in the basement with all the common henchmen and the goons. If that wasn't bad enough, Bane keeps calling them public property since they're LOD henchmen now, and keeps taking them on silly missions that involve blowing up random baristas.
So we're blowing up Todd after dinner.
They complain to Harley about this, and she tells them that she'll take care of it, but she fails. Why? Because she's having coffee with Joker. Yep. The famous let's get back together drink, coffee. She goes back to her Delulu phase again after seeing Joker treat her like an equal, and thinks that things might just be different this time around. She even ditches Ivy for him. However, by the end of the episode, she does come to her senses after being betrayed by Joker again.
Some things never change, Quinn.
She tries to just forget about what happened and keep it to herself since it was all just so humiliating. But she has no idea that it's all over the news already. Now, Ivy and her crew know that she picked Joker over them again. They then decide that they've all had enough of this. And so, the crew is dead. And so is Ivy and Harley's friendship. In the next episode, titled Benson Hurst, Ivy decides to do her important mission of saving plants from an evil company alone, and ends up getting caught. Thankfully though, she tells Frank to tell Harley to come rescue her ASAP, before things get too difficult. Without her crew, or her bestie Ivy, Harley's been feeling frustrated and lonely. So Harley decides to pay her mom a visit. Everything is going peachy in the beginning, but then her dad shows up. She doesn't exactly have a great relationship with her dad since he told her to give up her dream trophy and perform second best at a national gymnastics championship because, well, he bet money against her.
This is my dream.
You have other dreams. Come on, do it for me.
He also used her for his own benefit and was a selfish man, so she always hated him. Rightfully so. He fakes being all nice and reformed, but as you might have guessed, it's all a facade. All he wanted was to kill her. Yep. Her own father wanted to kill her to collect the bounty on her head.
Honey, I'm sorry. There was $1 million bounty on you.
The worst part? Her mom knew about all of it as well. Turns out she hated her secretly, all along, and was okay with her deadbeat dad getting rid of her. Poor Harley. This episode really makes you feel for her. By the end of it all, Harley cuts ties with both her mom and her dad. After all that family drama, Frank arrives to tell her what had happened to Ivy, and she leaves with him to rescue her. Side note, we also get a classic comic book reference in this episode, which is kind of awesome.
Discredit God's reckoning! Cutting it in half!
No!
The next episode, Harley Quinn Highway, sees Harley swallow her pride and apologize to her former crew so that they can save Ivy. Sadly though, they still don't want to forgive her. After all, she ditched them for her ex. However, they will help her save Ivy, just for Ivy's sake. By the time they're able to infiltrate the evil building and reach Ivy, they witness that Scarecrow, her captor, has already hit her with a unique blend of fear gas specifically made for her. They then decide to get into her brain through Psycho to minimize the damage made by the fear toxin. The best way to do this is to destroy what Ivy fears most. However, they soon find out that it's Harley. Harley is Ivy's biggest fear because she's her only friend.
Her biggest fear? I did not see that coming. That's some M. Night Shyamalan.
All her life, she's been friends with plants, and the fact that her only friend doesn't care as much as she does scares her. Man, that's some heavy stuff. While all of this is happening, Scarecrow is escaping with a special toxin that he made with Ivy's pheromones. Cyborgman turns into a vehicle and they all chase Scarecrow's van. However, things go wrong when his van crashes, leading the toxin to accidentally get mixed with the city's water. Soon, all the plants in the city turn into monsters. The next episode, Devil's Snare, starts with Harley and her crew fighting off the plant monsters since Ivy can't control them anymore. They're soon joined by the Justice League as well. But before the crew and the League could team up, the Queen of Fables shows up and traps the League into her storybook. She doesn't spare Harley and her crew either, trapping them on a large cloud in the sky filled with storybook monsters. We then find out that the entire Legion of Doom is behind all of this chaos. However, before Harley can take action and blow up their headquarters, she sees that Joker's already blown it to bits. Joker betrays the Legion of Doom, not for Harley, but for himself. He thinks their brand of evil is just boring, since they're just kinda letting anybody join in. Man, Joker is one toxic boyfriend. He then goes on to replace the LODHQ with his own personal HQ building and announces that he's taking over Gotham. We also find out that the Queen of Fables is working for Joker, and since she failed to kill Harley and her crew the first time around, she tries again after Joking yelling at her. This time, however, Harley doesn't let her go, and Harley's able to pop her head off.
Oh my god, I did not know her head would pop off.
However, just after things start to look somewhat up, Joker manages to pierce Ivy's heart. The season finale, titled The Final Joke, starts with Harley burying Ivy in the ground and hosting a short and sweet impromptu funeral. She comes up with a plan to team up with Batman to take down Joker. Batman is skeptical at first, but later he agrees since the Justice League is already trapped and the city's not looking too good. And so it begins. To begin, Harley tries to deceive Joker into taking her back by presenting Batman as a prisoner. Of course, it's not actually Batman, it's Clayface transformed into Batman. While this is happening, the real Batman tries to infiltrate Joker's headquarters. However, Joker quickly finds out about what's going on, and it all goes downhill.
Wait a minute. That's not Batman!
Everyone gets trapped, even Batman. But Harley manages to run away on time. Flash forward to a week later, Joker still has the entirety of Gotham in the palm of his hands. One day, while torturing Batman, Joker gets bored since, well, it's boring to do the same thing over and over again.
Take that. And that. And that.
And Scarecrow decides that it would be a very good idea if he removes Batman's mask. After he does this, though, Joker loses his mind.
Thanks for ruining the funniest thing I had going!
He gets so mad at Scarecrow that he ends up killing him. Meanwhile, Harley sees wanted posters for her all around Gotham. She also finds out that he's going to kill her crew if she doesn't show up on time. And so, she shows up with a bomb around her neck, threatening to blow herself sky high if Joker doesn't let her crew go. And, well, he actually does. He then tells her that he's been unhappy because he's been missing her, and in his own twisted way, he actually does love her. However, he can't let her be his weakness, so he tells her that he's going to erase her by putting her into a different kind of acid. An acid that is going to make Harley completely normal and undo all the damage that Joker caused in the first place. However, right on cue, Ivy shows up to save her. Yep. Turns out, burying her in the ground actually revived her because she's a plant. She then goes on to drop Joker in that acid instead, turning him into a basic clown again. However, as he's falling, he manages to press some button that triggers Gotham's destruction. Batman goes missing after this as well, after saving Ivy and Harley from the falling rubble. Season 2, Episode 1, New Gotham. kicks off with the President of the United States announcing that Gotham City is no longer a part of the USA, officially making it an apocalyptic wasteland. Naturally, without anybody to rule, remaining villains like Penguin and Two-Face try their best to expand their area of control. Harley, however, is against this idea. She doesn't want anybody to rule Gotham, she wants chaos. So she convinces common henchmen and goons to be free of their masters and do whatever they want.
What have those assholes ever done for you?
Instead of blindly following orders. Of course, the villains don't really like this at all, so they decide to create the Injustice League, composed of Bane, Riddler, Two-Face, Penguin, and Freeze. They also tell Harley that she can have a little bit of Gotham too if she joins them. Harley blatantly refuses though, and as a result gets frozen by Mr. Freeze. Luckily, Ivy and her crew are able to rescue her from Penguin's show-off party, and she also successfully kills Penguin after being free from the block of ice. However, soon Harley finds out that she was frozen for 2 whole months, and the city's completely changed again. The Injustice League actually runs the city. They're calling it the New Gotham. What a creative name. Hell, Riddler even opened up a university. Harley's already taken care of Penguin, but, well, the rest of the League is still in action, and as strong as ever, so she decides to put her Freeland Chaos idea to rest, to take control of Gotham in her own hands. In the end, we also find out that Bruce Wayne is thankfully alive and being rescued out of the rubble. The next episode, titled Riddle You, starts with Harley and the gang planning to take down the rest of the Injustice League. However, they're struggling with no water and no electricity. Apparently, Riddler's University is the only building with running water and electricity in the entirety of Gotham.
That asshole's the only one with power.
So they decide to infiltrate it to kill him first and then take over it. Harley and Ivy and Clayface go undercover as students to carry on this mission, all while Shark and Psycho go on a hunt for clean drinking water. In the university, they end up meeting Barbara Gordon, Commissioner Gordon's daughter, and she wants to take down Riddler as well, so they join forces. Barbara reveals that Riddler is often seen at this college frat house for hours at a time, and that people seem to never come back after they go there. So something must be going on. Harley and Ivy end up stealing the tickets to get into the frat house from her to go snoop around. After some snooping, they find out that Riddler is using students as human batteries to generate electricity. He's essentially making them run on a hamster wheel until they collapse. Soon he catches Harley, Ivy, and Clayface too. Luckily though, Babs is able to take down Riddler with her genius intellect and somewhat awesome fighting skill. She then suggests Ivy and Harley to take Riddler to Arkham. However, they end up taking him to their lair, now making him do the hamster dance for them to generate electricity. In the end, we also see Babs officially becoming Batgirl, which makes this episode definitely one of the best in the entire series. The next episode, Trapped, starts with Harley and her crew trying to infiltrate Mr. Freeze's territory. However, since the ice walls are so thick, they can't do that without Firefly's special gun, which is locked tight in the Gotham Natural History Museum. So Ivy and Harley meet Catwoman, perhaps the best burglar in Gotham, to discuss a plan to infiltrate the museum. And so the mission to get the gun from the museum begins.
Oh, what's the plan? I was thinking first we smash through the skylight, then...
Don't cat-splain breaking and entering.
Kite Man joins as well, since he wants to steal a leaf-shaped diamond ring for Ivy to propose to her. Catwoman and Ivy have a complicated past, and Catwoman ends up getting into Ivy's head for not being the way that she used to be. She almost convinces her to go solo again, and even makes her almost break up with Kite Man. But Harley steps in to make Ivy realize that she has people who love her now, and that's okay. Catwoman ends up stealing Kite Man's ring though, because that's just how she is, but Ivy ends up saying yes to Kite Man anyway. Oh yeah, and they also successfully get the special gun. The next episode, Thawing Hearts, starts with Harley and her crew infiltrating Freeze's territory with the help of Firefly's special gun. Harley seems a little extra angry at him since he's the one who freezed her for 2 whole months. She's even desperate to kill him. However, Freeze quickly captures her and her crew and puts them into a cell. And now that he has her, he wants to do some deadly experiments on Harley to find a cure for his wife's sickness.
The experiments have been a rousing success.
Luckily though, Harley is able to buy some time by telling Freeze that Ivy's on her way, and she possibly can heal his wife. She's only buying time though, she doesn't plan to call Ivy. While he's waiting for Ivy to arrive, Freeze makes lunch for Harley and her crew. Amidst all that, Harley basically convinces herself that Freeze is just some clown who froze his wife when she tried to leave him, and decides to unfreeze her as soon as she gets the chance. However, she soon finds out that she's extremely wrong. This mistake of hers makes Freeze incredibly angry, and now Harley actually has to call Ivy to come help his wife or else he will blow everything up, including himself. Ivy quickly arrives at the scene to help. After running some tests, Ivy tells Freeze that there is a way to save his wife. He can basically change his blood type through a special plant thingy, and then transfer his healthy blood to his wife. The only downside is that he will die. This doesn't even faze him a little bit. Freeze happily dies for his wife, showcasing to Harley what true love actually looks like. Whoa, a surprisingly beautiful episode. The next episode, Batman's Backman, focuses almost entirely on Batman and his Bat family. Starts with Bruce waking up from a coma, eager to return as Batman. However, Alfred disapproves since his health isn't very good.
I've made you a cup of honey tea and pigs in blankets.
I don't want pigs in a blanket.
Anyway, Bruce gets concerned when he learns about Batgirl using his symbol without his permission, and decides to meet her as Batman. However, she gets so excited meeting her idol that she live streams the whole thing and officially announces that Batman is back. And just like that, the villains start fearing the streets, and the entirety of Gotham starts celebrating. Seeing all this, Bruce becomes even more adamant to return to the Gotham streets, fighting crime as Batman and keeping this new hope alive. So he makes Lucius Fox design a brand new suit for him to make up for his physical injuries. He then goes out to fight crime. After he takes a couple goons out, Batman is seriously injured by none other than Bane. However, Batgirl and the Macaroni, aka Alfred in a weird wig, show up to save him on time. He then agrees that he needs to rest, and happily passes on the mantle of protecting Gotham to Batgirl. He even tells Commissioner Gordon to work with her from now on. In the next episode titled All the Best Inmates Have Daddy Issues, we get some insight into how Harley and Joker crossed paths in the first place. It was when she was a normal psychiatrist who was hired by the GCPD and District Attorney Harvey Dent, now famously known as Two-Face, to extract crucial information out of Joker. Apparently, Joker had planted a bomb somewhere in Gotham and they needed to know the bomb's location to defuse it. Joker, of course, decides to play with her instead. He even blatantly flirts with her. However, despite all of his games, Harley bravely decides to talk to him face to face by entering into a cell, which earns Harley some respect in Joker's eyes.
Cute.
I would never write that.
But I know you thought it.
Still, she fails to get any information. As a last resort, Harley then decides to try something new. She knows that Joker hates talking about his childhood, so she decides to ask him about all that instead. Surprisingly though, Joker is able to quickly open up to Harley about all of the abuse that his dad put him through, while laughing, all on a single day.
Then he beat the out of me. I just remember him standing over me, punching and laughing, laughing and punching and punching.
Jeez, that's awful. He then also fesses up the location of the bomb after some bargaining. However, you see, all of this is a lie. The backstory, the location, everything. As the bomb bursts, Joker escapes with Harley on his back. The GCPD goes after them, but before they can cause any harm to Harley, Ivy saves her. Back to the present, Harley concludes her argument of whether people can change or not by showcasing how Ivy used to hate all human beings, but still decided to save Harley. All because she gifted her a plant for giving her info on the Joker. It's a fuzzy moment until they both end up being kidnapped by Two-Face. The next episode, There's No Place to Go But Down, starts with Harley and Ivy standing on trial for Penguin's murder. They plead guilty, thinking that they could easily escape from Arkham. However, instead of Arkham, they're sent to a new pit-style prison managed by Bane. On the other side of things, Two-Face decides to take out Commissioner Gordon once and for all. Luckily though, Batgirl saves him, and then she also ends up telling him her real identity. She does this to tell Gordon that he is her inspiration too, along with Batman, and that she wants him to start believing in himself again because he's a damn good cop and a damn good dad. All of this inspires Gordon to be his old self again. He then quits his drinking, takes back the GCPD headquarters from Two-Face and his goons, and even arrests him and puts him in jail. All by himself, just like that, because he's a damn good cop. Back at the pit, Harley and Ivy also end up escaping by initiating a riot through a stand-up comedy performance. Harley even almost dies for Ivy, but well, Ivy saves her in the end, so it's all good. After this almost deadly escape though, they end up kissing each other. Kite Man's definitely not gonna like this. But for the record, I've been shipping this since the beginning. The next episode, Inner Parademons, kicks off with Commissioner Gordon asking the president to put Gotham back on the map since he's taken back control of the city from the Injustice League. The president tells Gordon that he will declare Gotham as an official city in the United States if he also manages to take care of Harley Quinn, since according to him, she's the one who was responsible for most of the city's destruction. Babs tells this to Harley while advising her to lay low since she thinks Harley's actually hero material and is not a villain. However, this notion irritates Harley, and she now wants to prove to everybody more than ever that she is in fact an evil supervillain. So she steals a mother box from Mr. Miracle to go to Apocalypse with her crew, all to meet Darkseid. She does all this to get an army to take control of Gotham back from Gordon. This was all Psycho's plan, by the way, because he's actually evil. However, after getting the army and killing almost all of GCPD and half of Gotham's population with it, Harley realizes that this isn't what she wants. It's Ivy who she really wants. All day, she was just trying to escape her actual feelings for Ivy, but she can't anymore since nothing is going to fill that hole. not even world domination, so she backs down and tells Gordon that he wins. By the end of the episode, Psycho gets incredibly angry over Harley's decision to back down and decides to quit the crew. And Harley almost ends up telling Ivy how she really feels about her, but she decides not to after seeing her all happy and chirpy with Kite Man. The next episode, Bachelorette, starts with Harley, Ivy, Catwoman, Mrs. Freeze, and Ivy's childhood friend Jennifer all leaving for a weekend bachelorette trip to Wonder Woman's homeland, Themyscira. As the maid of honor, Harley has a whole thing planned for Ivy and all the girls. Things go great at first, tons of fun, but perhaps a bit too much fun for Harley and Ivy.
Oh, cakes of a dick.
Kite Man's really not gonna like this. As things cool down, Harley then decides to reveal her grand celebration plan. Apparently, Lex Luthor is the one who's actually behind converting the environment-friendly, raw, and beautiful island of Themyscira to a corporate spa retreat. All for money, of course. And she wants Ivy to do this environment-themed mission of taking his goons out of Themyscira, with her favorite girls, as a special gift on her bachelorette weekend. Ivy soon perks up hearing about this and starts praising Harley for the fact that no one knows Ivy better than her. The girls then take out Lex Luthor's employees and goons, making sure everything goes back to the way it was. By the end of it all, the Queen of Themyscira is so impressed by them that she throws a rager in their name. After taking some time to think over everything that's happened, Ivy decides to reject Harley. She tells her that she runs from one thing to the next and she can't exactly trust her with her heart.
But I don't trust you with my heart.
In the next episode, titled Die Hard, Harley ends up meeting Normie Joker at a rooftop bar working as a bartender. They get to talking, but soon enough their conversation gets cut off by some goons trying to rob the place. As they reach the roof of the building, they find out that Riddler and Psycho were behind the whole goon robbing thing. It was all just a distraction so they could steal the special mind helmet from Wayne Tower, which is a huge deal since it will let Psycho control the Parademon army. Psycho then lures and traps all of Harley's crew, as well as good old Jim Gordon. He then proceeds to take over Clayface and Shark's minds, nearly killing Harley. However, before things become too dark, Cy Borgman's beautiful sacrifice is able to save Harley, Normie Joker, and Gordon from this Psycho situation. It's not over yet. The city's still riddled with parademons under Psycho's control, so Harley has to now think of a plan to fix the situation. She desperately starts pushing Normie Joker to try to remember where the Queen of Fables storybook is, so that she can free the Justice League and finally put an end to this horrid cycle of evil villains trying to take over Gotham. However, Normie Joker is constantly drawing blanks, so she decides to push him in the regular Psycho vat of acid so that he could get his memory back. The next episode, A Fight Worth Fighting For, starts with Normie Joker gaining all of his memories back and turning into regular Joker again. Harley instantly pushes him to remember where the book is, and he does, thanks to some, light convincing. The book, apparently, is in his girlfriend Bethany's house, so they go there together to retrieve it. However, when she realizes who her boyfriend truly is, the Joker, Bethany angrily throws the book away from them, so it gets lost in the hands of a parademon. The whole episode then features Harley and Joker chasing after the book and fighting with Psycho's army of parademons. They almost die to get it. However, when Batman comes in to arrest them, saving them in the process. Yep. He's all healed and back in the business of saving Gotham. He arrests Harley and Joker, thinking that they're in cahoots with Psycho. However, after setting the record straight, they realize that the book that they've been chasing after was actually a different fairy tale book. The real book is still at Bethany's. And so they go to Bethany's place where Joker realizes that he's still in love with her. They all then free the Justice League with the help of Zatanna. On the other side of things, Psycho's parademons manage to piss Ivy off as she's busy with her wedding preparations. So she shows up to tell him to keep her out of whatever he's been doing. However, he ends up taking over her mind as well. Yep, Harley's definitely not gonna like this. In the next episode, Lovers Quarrel, Ivy shows up to kill Harley at Bethany's house. Luckily, Kite Man comes in to save her. He also tells her that Ivy's being controlled by Psycho now, along with the rest of her crew. So they decide to come up with a plan to undo their mind control. As they're working on a solution, they also find out that Cy Borgman is actually alive. He's just living as a machine now. So they end up taking his help in creating an anti-mind control device. On the other side of things, the Justice League has already taken care of the parademon situation and is now fighting Ivy, Clayface, and King Shark. They managed to take out Clayface and King Shark, however Ivy is proving to be far too powerful, so they decide to send her to the Phantom Zone. But before they can do this, Ivy manages to spray the heroes with her love poison. Ivy then steals Harley to take her to Psycho. Things don't go as Psycho planned, as Kite Man shows up to the lair with the anti-mind control device. Psycho ends up getting humiliated and beat up after Ivy's back to normal again. As a last-ditch revenge effort, though, Psycho ends up broadcasting to the whole of Gotham that Harley and Ivy slept together, and this breaks Kite Man's heart. Damn. Ugh. What an evil little man.
This is going to affect the crew dynamic in a messy and complicated manner.
The season finale, The Runaway Bridesmaid, starts with the heroes being honored after finally saving Gotham and putting it back on the map. Commissioner Gordon seems a little jealous, however, since no one acknowledges his contribution in saving the city. I mean, he was there for Gotham all along. Taking advantage of this situation, Two-Face gets into his mind. He tells Gordon that he should do a mass arrest at Ivy and Kite Man's wedding to make sure the public appreciates him as much as they appreciate the superheroes. Two-Face then does what he does best. He double-crosses Gordon by telling Harley all about the plan. Harley wasn't planning on going to Ivy's wedding, but now she has to go to stop Gordon. So she reaches the wedding venue and punches a couple of people in search of Gordon, which makes Ivy think that she's there to sabotage the wedding. So Ivy ends up kicking Harley out. But when a GCPD undercover cop gets unmasked, the truth comes out. All the supervillains then begin to evacuate the place.
I now pronounce ya under arrest!
And Gordon's plan to be recognized for his mass arrest completely backfires. Even so, the wedding still gets ruined. Kite Man has had enough of all this. He decides to break up with Ivy since, for some reason, she refuses to do it herself. He tells her that it's so obvious that she's in love with Harley that even he can't pretend to not see it anymore. He then flies away from there, leaving Harley and Ivy to finally talk about their feelings. After a bit of awkwardness, Ivy finally admits that she does want to be with Harley. She also admits that it's a bit hard for her to trust Harley since she's so chaotic. But that chaos is what she loves the most about her. Finally, they kiss and escape into their happily ever after. What a great ending. Season 3, Episode 1, titled Harlivy, kicks off with Harley and Ivy roaming around celebrating their reunion. They steal Wonder Woman's jet, they crash at Superman's place, and they even steal Commissioner Gordon's credit card info. After all that fun stuff, however, Harley decides to take Ivy to the Garden of Eden, which is essentially Ivy's special garden that she used to tend to herself back when she wanted to restore Earth to its most natural condition. Back in Gotham, Gordon is running for the mayor's office with Two-Face as his campaign manager. He's still after Ivy and Harley since he thinks that arresting them will provide him with some much-needed public appreciation. And so he sets a trap. He plants a phone at King Shark and Clayface's Arkham cell, hoping they will call Ivy and Harley to come and break them out of prison. Ivy and Harley are 2 steps ahead of Gordon, though. They already know all about his trap, and they're easily able to escape it, all while rescuing King Shark and Clayface from Arkham. As they're escaping, though, they also end up meeting Amanda Waller, who ends up insulting Ivy for bumping into her. Harley gets so angry at her insults that she kidnaps her, not thinking about the repercussions of it all. I mean, you can't just casually kidnap the head of the Suicide Squad, Harley. Her doing this then leads to the Garden of Eden getting destroyed by Plastique, who bombs the entire place along with herself. Waller successfully escapes, of course. Meanwhile, Ivy is left behind to mourn the loss of her special garden. The next episode, There's No Ivy in Team, sees the return of the legendary first Robin, Dick Grayson. Nightwing's back in town, folks. He came to Gotham because, well, he was facing some issues in Bloodhaven. Back at Harley's lair, Ivy and Harley announce that they're working on a new plan to terraform Gotham. It is all Ivy's idea, of course, so she's going to be in charge. Ivy then hosts a meeting and asks the crew to help her steal a special mosquito for her eco serum. While the group is successfully able to steal the mosquito, Ivy's leadership skills prove to be, questionable. The eco serum also fails to work how it was supposed to, so Ivy has a bit of a breakdown. Harley feels sad seeing all of this, so she decides to take Ivy along with her entire crew to an escape room arena so they can work on their team building. However, this escape room arena is nothing like a normal escape room arena. It's actually built by the Riddler and contains extremely deadly traps. To add more to the drama, the whole Bat family is stuck in the arena as well. Looks like they also came in for similar reasons. Long story short, they all interact, make some jokes, and solve the puzzles. By the end, all their teamwork skills get a lot better. Ivy's able to transform Frank into an evolved being using her new eco serum, and the Bat family is getting along better than ever. Season 3, Episode 5. It's a Swamp Thing brings in another great DC character into the series, Swamp Thing. It starts with Ivy focusing all her chakras to get into the green to find Frank, who's gone missing. However, she can't really focus, so she tells Harley that they should visit Swamp Thing in New Orleans, since it's so easy for him to access the green. Mrs. Freeze joins them on their trip as well. Back at the Wayne Manor, a budding relationship between Catwoman and Bruce Wayne hits a snag. Catwoman feels like she needs some time alone. Bruce isn't too happy about this since he feels really lonely when she's gone. So he decides to show up at her place with 2 Persian cats. However, his constant efforts to be with Catwoman start to make her feel suffocated, so they kind of break up. Back at the trip to New Orleans, the girls take help from John Constantine to find Swamp Thing. After they locate him, Mrs. Freeze and him really hit it off. However, when Swamp Thing finds out that Mrs. Freeze doesn't want to be serious with him, he freaks out and destruction ensues. Ivy gets real angry about all of this since she's so worried about Frank, and no one else, apart from her, seems to care about the fact that he's missing. She tells Swamp Thing that he's being a baby. Meanwhile, Swamp Thing tells her that her not letting him feel his emotions properly is what made their relationship end in the first place.
I would listen to you for hours, complaining about humans being the worst, and
Jeez, this episode is just drama. After everything calms down, Ivy apologizes to Swamp Thing, and she then sincerely asks for his help in locating Frank through the green. However, Swamp Thing tells her that now that she has let her pent-up emotions all out, she can probably do it herself, and he's right. So Ivy finally accesses the green and finds out who took Frank from her. Apparently, it's none other than Bruce Wayne. In the next episode, Joker the Killing Vote, I see what they did there, we focus entirely on Joker's new sitcom-styled life with his girlfriend Bethany and her kids, Sophia and Benicio. A feud involving Bethany's kids and a PTA snob Debbie has led Joker into running for mayor. Apparently, even Joker can't help but hate corruption. He does a pretty good job campaigning for himself as well. He tells the citizens that he will be a total Robin Hood socialist mayor who will make the 1% rich people pay for everything, which quickly makes him popular amongst the public. Meanwhile, Joker's competition for the seat, Commissioner Gordon, isn't too happy about all of this. Barbara tells him that he should fire Two-Face and even goes as far as to make Gordon choose between them. However, Gordon ends up choosing Two-Face because, well, he trusts him for some reason. After all that, Two-Face comes up with a plan to defeat Joker. He kidnaps Benicio and tells Joker to step down or he'll kill the kid. Surprisingly though, Joker instantly steps down for Benicio.
Okay, I'll drop out.
Looks like he's really changed after all. However, Two-Face being Two-Face, he goes back on his word. Gordon sees this and feels stupid that he chose Two-Face over Barbara. And so he fires Two-Face, saves Joker and Benicio, and even steps down from the race thinking that Joker is the better choice for mayor. And so, the episode ends with Joker being inaugurated as the new mayor of Gotham City. Let's hope Gordon's decision to trust another criminal doesn't backfire. The next episode, another Sharkle adventure, starts with Ivy going into the green to find out exactly where Bruce Wayne has been keeping Frank. But it's proving to be too hard for her since she's still pretty new at this. So Harley decides to kidnap Bruce from a gala that he's hosting to find out Frank's location directly from him.
He is desperate to see me. Ugh, that better not be more flowers.
As she reaches the venue, she ends up bumping into Batgirl, who's there snooping for clues to catch the Mad Hatter. Batgirl is kinda pissed at Harley for not replying to her infinite texts. The conversation then breaks into a fight. However, it gets cut short as Mad Hatter captures both of them. Harley manages to convince the Mad Hatter that they're not together, so he lets her go. Only for Harley to return and rescue Batgirl because, turns out, Harley does actually care about her, even if she has a hard time replying to her texts. Harley then successfully captures Bruce Wayne as well.
Hiya, Brucey.
Pretty busy night for you, Harley. On the other side of things, King Shark's father dies, so he has to attend his funeral back at the sea. There's also going to be a coronation for his little brother and new king, Kamea. All of the functions go peachy at first. But then Shark finds out that Kamea is planning to sell the Shark Kingdom to Ocean Master, who is essentially an enemy of the kingdom. He tries to convince his little brother not to do it, but he's adamant. So Shark has to kill him, and that he does. It wasn't even that hard for him since it's not exactly the first time that he's done this. Wow. The next episode, Batman Begins Forever, starts with Ivy and Harley trying their best to torture Bruce Wayne for information about Frank. But of course, since he's the Batman, he doesn't spill anything.
You want to talk, huh? Oh, we've got ways to make you talk, pal.
So they decide to take Psycho's help with the matter. They get down to business. Harley, Ivy, Clayface, and Psycho go into Bruce's mind. However, they soon find out that his head is filled with the memory of his parents dying again and again on an infinite loop. Harley starts feeling bad for him, and so she changes the memory by closing Kid Bruce's eyes. However, her actions lead to a full-on brain lockdown where Bruce's mind kicks everyone out except for Harley. And so Harley tries to help Kid Bruce as his official psychiatrist inside of his mind, all while trying to make him reveal Frank's location. They jog through a couple more memories, and Harley even figures out that Bruce is Batman.
I'm that man.
No worries about it though. She promises to keep this secret as a part of her doctor-patient confidentiality code. She's able to work out some issues inside Bruce's mind, however. She figures that she should treat him in the real world if she really wants to help him. After all, there's only so much she can do from inside his mind. And so, Kid Bruce lets her go. He also tells her Frank's location because, well, she seems like the good kind of clown. After coming back to the real world, Harley finds out that the Bat Kids have now kidnapped her along with her crew after rescuing Bruce. In the next episode, Climax at Jazzapajiza, our noble hero Bruce Wayne has gone off the deep end. He tries resurrecting his parents from the dead and unknowingly ends up resurrecting all of Gotham's dead, triggering a planned zombie apocalypse. Harley, her crew, and the Bat Kids witness this as all of Gotham's dead rise up, and now they have to come with a plan to fix it. Ivy tells everybody that she'll access the green to try to control the plant zombies, and she does. However, she finds out that the spit of these plant zombies can turn everybody and everything to a plant. So she takes advantage of the situation and lets the plant zombies fulfill her grand dream of terraforming Gotham. After all, it's what she always wanted. Harley sees all of this and is incredibly scared. She didn't think Ivy was capable of hurting so many innocent human beings just so that she could turn Gotham into some kind of green city. She also feels extremely conflicted. When did she start thinking like a hero? She's supposed to be a villain. Nonetheless, Harley approaches Ivy and tells her that she doesn't approve of what she's doing. It's causing too much destruction.
So, how you doing?
But she didn't think so many lives would be affected by this. Ivy tells her that this isn't what she exactly wanted either. But this is the only way that she can achieve her dreams now, and she's going for it. Confused and terrified, Harley then jumps into the spit of one of the plant zombies to force Ivy to undo the damage that she caused. And just like that, all of it is undone. However, Ivy doesn't look too happy about it. The season finale, TBA, starts with all of Gotham praising Harley for saving the city from Ivy. Harley, however, is still conflicted on why exactly she did it. However, she's sure about one thing. She doesn't want Ivy to break up with her, and so she decides to smush down her feelings and tell her that she'll be with her for whatever evil plan she comes up with next. Ivy then forgives Harley and tells her that Lex asked her to lead the new Legion of Doom after being impressed with her destruction-causing skills. He's even given her total control of the evil organization. She then also tells Harley that as the new head, she's tasked with killing the city's mayor, aka Joker. And so they tie him up to beat the hell out of him.
What the hell is going on?
Oh, I'll tell you what's going on.
Joker, however, gets in Ivy's head. He tells her that she and him are awfully similar. They both make Harley do things that she doesn't want to do. This opens Ivy's eyes. She then decides to talk to Harley about what exactly she wants. She tells her that she's noticed her overwhelming urge to help people these days, that if that's what she wants, she's gonna support her. Harley isn't exactly sure about what she wants yet. However, she doesn't feel like being evil anymore. She wouldn't call herself a hero, but she wants to try and help people since it seems to emotionally fulfill her. By the end of the episode, Joker arrests Bruce Wayne for tax evasion as well as endangering Gotham with the whole zombie apocalypse thing, because he's such a great mayor. Bruce also decides to take some time off from saving Gotham and serve his sentence, all while working on his mental health in prison. He then passes on the mantle of protecting Gotham to Batgirl, Nightwing, and Robin, and as they all go to patrol the city at night, Harley joins them as well, as an official member of the Bat family. Season 4, Episode 1, titled Gotham's Hottest Hotties, kicks off with Ivy chiming in as the CEO of Legion of Doom and Harley joining the Bat family. At Ivy's place, though, things aren't going too well, since the villains aren't comfortable with working for a woman. So at first, she tries real hard to be nice, but eventually makes sure the boys knows who's in charge.
Oh shit, that's a grenade.
Back at the Batcave, the Bat Fam is trying to figure out who's behind the brutal murders of models and heroes appearing in Gotham's Hottest Hotties, the latest issue. Harley notices that Nightwing is mentioned in the magazine as well, so she comes up with a plan to use Nightwing to lure this murderer. They do a photo shoot, and well, the murderer shows up. Turns out, it's none other than Professor Pig, and he wants to make a perfect Dollotron by taking out different perfect parts of the models and heroes mentioned in Gotham's Hottest Hotties. Thankfully, they're able to catch him before he goes too far. Harley, however, ends up killing him with her bat, which is not exactly a very heroic thing to do. The next episode, BITCH, kicks off with the Bat family getting mad at Harley for killing Professor Pig. So they tell her to train under Alfred as his assistant until she proves that she's not going to do impulsive stuff. Meanwhile, Talia al Ghul, Robin's mother and Batman's old flame, is back in town again. Since Bruce is in jail, she's the one who's going to take care of Wayne Industries.
All of your bat bullshit goes through me, and there will be cuts.
And since LexCorp is proving to be the biggest competitor of Wayne Industries after Ivy started leading the Legion of Doom, she decides to get to know her better. In the meantime, Ivy has her own plans to crush Wayne Industries for their use of baby plants in their scientific experiments, and she eventually succeeds. She also gains Talia's respect and admiration in the process. Back at the Batcave, Alfred teaches Harley the BITCH method of thinking to control her impulses. The method is a success, as it eventually leads to Harley stopping Alfred from robbing a bank. She even gains Bat family's respect for putting crime fighting over her personal bond with Alfred, and gets a new bat outfit as a reward. Another highlight from this episode was King Shark's baby shower, since Tabitha, his platonic wife, is pregnant, but nothing much happens over there. The next episode, Icons Only, starts with Ivy and Harley taking some time off of their work life and going to Vegas to party. Clayface has a very important show there as well, and Ivy wants to attend it.
That show's been sold out for months.
However, she can't get tickets to the show, no matter how hard she tries. She can't even ask Clayface directly since he's mad at her for not returning his numerous emails. Meanwhile, Harley realizes her reputation as a hero has made her an outcast among the villains. She can't party like she used to with all the eyes on her. She also doesn't want to get in trouble with the Bat family for having a little too much fun. So she adopts a separate identity while she's in Vegas. Hargret. By the end of the episode, a deadly fight breaks out between Clayface and Ivy over their petty feud. A lot of bystanders are endangered, so Harley steps in to stop them, making Ivy angry in the process. However, everything settles down when they all attend the birth of King Shark's 9 shark babies. There's also an absolutely cute moment when Shark names Harley and Ivy godmothers to his children.
Harley and Ivy, would you do us the honor of being godmothers?
Yeah.
The next episode, the first person to come back from a business conference without chlamydia, kicks off with Ivy going to a business conference on the moon. She hopes to hold her own panel over there, but Luthor only allows her to be in charge of his introduction for a measly 45 seconds. Nonetheless, Talia tells Ivy that she shouldn't let Luthor hold her back. So she freely participates in all the panels and ends up taking all the thunder. Meanwhile, Wayne Industries is going through a liquidation process under Talia's orders. She even takes all the gadgets away from the Bat family, which causes a bit of a problem with their daily crime-fighting gigs.
Oh, toughen up. You think real villains are above...
So Harley decides to teach Nightwing, Batgirl, and Robin to fight dirty, without their gadgets. To make some extra money to earn their gadgets back, they also decide to turn the Wayne Manor into an Airbnb. This plan completely backfires though, since the guests end up trying to rob the residents. However, they fail to accomplish the task since robbing the Bat family is an extremely hard job. Wayne Industries going under, Harley being a hero? Things are looking real different in Gotham these days. The next episode, Getting Ice Dick, Don't Wait Up, kicks off with Harley getting LASIK surgery by none other than Supergirl, since she's having problems fighting crime at night. Harley then goes to the Batcave to find Nightwing. However, as soon as he sees her, he yells at her for getting surgery while Babs is missing.
Batgirl is missing.
He then even starts doubting Harley, thinking she may have kidnapped Babs. This makes Harley mad. She's doing everything she can for the Bat family, and yet Nightwing refuses to acknowledge this effort. So she decides to find Babs without him. Eventually, though, it turns out that Babs wasn't actually kidnapped. She just went to a mountain to rescue her mother since her dad, Commissioner Gordon, left her there stranded after getting hired by the Legion of Doom as a security guard. You see, Joker actually disbanded the GCPD as the mayor of Gotham, so Gordo's out of a job. In the end, Babs tells Harley not to push Nightwing with friendship and family stuff, that it takes time to build trust and bonds. However, Nightwing's body drops cold in front of both of them, which cuts their conversation short. The next episode, Metamorphosis, starts with Harley, Batgirl, and Robin hosting Nightwing's funeral. Somebody's trying to kill all the members of the Bat family. However, they don't know who or why. Lucius Fox is able to track Nightwing's final movements, and his last known location seems to be at the Legion of Doom office. Batgirl and Harley then start to question whether Ivy has something to do with Nightwing's death. Upon investigating some more though, both of them then find out that Nightwing's tracker was last seen at an abandoned parking lot, and Gordon decided to pick it up and keep it for himself. In the meantime, Ivy is sick of her PR team doing things that she doesn't approve of, so she comes up with a plan with her mentees, Volcana, Hefe, and Terra, to put an end to all of it. She starts committing PR disasters in order to destroy their careers. After that, her mentees destroy them in a legendary fight. By the end of the episode, Joker also announces his return to villainy, along with announcing that it was him. He was the one who killed Nightwing. Naturally, all the villains then start praising him and congratulating him for accomplishing such a feat. Ah, well. So much for a changed Gotham, I suppose. The next episode, the most culturally impactful film franchise of all time, kicks off with Joker trying to show off his recent accomplishments to all the villains. However, Batgirl is convinced that he's lying, so she decides to investigate and finds out that she's right.
Trust your gut, Barbara Gordon Jr.
Joker isn't the real killer since he had an alibi. Meanwhile, Harley is desperate to talk to somebody more than ever. She feels like she's dreaming, hallucinating, and overall losing her mind. She goes to the Batcave, but Batgirl's extremely busy figuring out who the killer actually is. So she decides once and for all to stop by at the Legion of Doom office to talk to Ivy. However, Mrs. Freeze tells her that she's busy stealing the Time Sphere with her mentees. So, to get Ivy's attention, and some much-needed alone time with her, Harley steps into the Time Sphere herself with Ivy, deciding they both need to visit their future selves for advice. Things don't go as planned, as they arrive in an apocalyptic Gotham in the year 2048. A group of survivors, led by their future daughter Natiri, then spill the beans on what's actually going on. Apparently, a mysterious force devastated Gotham in 2024, wiping out a ton of people. including Harley and Ivy. This deadly force then also led to an adult Robin taking control of the city. However, not long after sharing this info, their own daughter betrays them, handing them over to Robin, all while complaining about the fact that they're both such bad moms. Nevertheless, Baby Shark decides to save them and tells them to prevent the apocalypse of 2024. And so they step into the time sphere again, now to go back to the present. However, things, again, don't go as planned, as the fear takes them to 6 days after the apocalypse kicked off and gets destroyed in the process. The next episode, To Buffone, shows us exactly what happens to jumpstart the apocalypse. Back at the Legion of Doom office, we find out that Lex wants to thicken the ozone layer and be recognized for saving the planet. However, his thickening laser is 10 feet short of the point of action.
Short of the Earth's atmosphere.
In English!
So he decides to kidnap Volcana to help him push the ozone layer 10 feet away from the Earth. However, Mrs. Freeze figures out that something's up and refuses to give Volcana to him. Frustrated by all of this, Lex then puts all the villains present at the LOD office in a lockdown to push Mrs. Freeze to give her up. Nonetheless, she then comes up with a plan to blow up the LOD office to get out of the lockdown. Sadly though, that very explosion pushes the ozone layer 10 feet away from the Earth, and so Lex's thickening laser starts working as planned. What do you know? It ends up making the ozone layer so thick that the sun's rays are completely blocked out. I knew this guy was beyond the apocalypse. The next episode, Potato-Based Cloning Incident, starts with Ivy and Harley trying to figure out how to stop Lex from using his ozone layer thickener before things really get out of hand. Ivy can't take him out with her powers, since with the sun gone, both she and Superman are weakened. So she decides to convince all the board members to vote Lex out as the head of LexCorp, and the mission is a success. Lex gets voted out, and the sun shines again. Cut to Harley. Through Psycho's mind powers, she finds out that it was actually her who killed Nightwing while she was sleepwalking. However, since she wants to take this secret to her grave, she asks Flash to help her turn back time, so that Psycho doesn't remember what he saw in her memories. She also finds out that she is a clone. Apparently, Gordon accidentally cooked up a potato clone of her while heating his food at the Legion of Doom headquarters. In the beginning, she and her clone get along very well. However, when the clone decides to arrest her for Nightwing's murder, she decides to kill her before she spills the beans to anybody else. And hey, doesn't really count as murder, since she was made from a potato. Overwhelmed by all this, Harley then decides to quit the Bat family. She tried to change for the better, but she can't help it. However, before Babs could properly respond to all of this, Joker puts a bullet inside of her.
No.
The season finale, Killer's Block, kicks off with Harley kidnapping Joker from Bethany's house to teach him a lesson for paralyzing Batgirl from the waist down. However, no matter how hard she tries, she can't seem to figure out what to do to him. And so she decides to give him to Gordon as a gift to figure it out for himself. Meanwhile, Lex is hosting his 40th birthday bash on the moon. He invites all his business associates along with Ivy. Ivy, however, feels weird that even after kicking him out of LexCorp, not much has changed in his life. She then also finds out that during the apocalyptic period, Lex stole a weakened Superman, absorbed his powers into a suit, and put him in a kryptonite cell. Apparently, this was his plan all along. After all that, a fight breaks out between Lex and Ivy, and since she can't defeat him with her powers, she decides to use his laser to blow up the Legion of Doom offices along with all his property. She blows up Talia's properties as well with the help of Harley and Batgirl, who got the public out before all the blowing up happened. Ivy then calls in Steppenwolf to boom tube Lex away to a far, far galaxy, taking care of him once and for all. However, all the blowing up and overusing of lasers causes the moon to break. Nonetheless, Superman is able to fix that in a jiffy after being saved by Harley from his kryptonite cell. By the end, Batgirl, Ivy, and Harley meet up with Catwoman inside Nightwing's grave. Catwoman tells them that the grave has been stolen, and they then band together to investigate who exactly did it. Nonetheless, we already know who did it. It was Robin. Apparently, he stole Nightwing's body to put it in the Lazarus Pit. And just like that, the best booty in Gotham is back again, hungry for revenge. That's it, folks. That's the whole story of Harley Quinn animated. At least until the next season drops, which is very, very soon. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to press that like button and hit subscribe, because when you do these little sweet things, it helps our channel grow and make more of these videos just for you. Have a good day. And as usual, thanks for watching. See ya.